Their cruel prank made me take back every gift. I'd been bustin' my tail the last few years, pulling in enough cash to snag a house and still have some left after the bills hit every month. This past Christmas, I figured I'd splurge big on my folks and kin tablets with built-in DVD players for the little ones, cool sports gear and camping stuff for my old man, my brother, and my uncle, plus some fancy antiques, jewelry, and kitchen gadgets for my mom, my sister-in-law, and my aunt. I was feeling good about it, especially since I'd patched things up with Em after years of not talking, ever since I moved closer to home. My girlfriend tagged along too. She don't got much family worth a darn, so she was all smiles to join me at my folks' place for Christmas Eve. Things were rolling along fine at first, and I laid down the law clear as day, no funny business, no pranks on me or her, period. They all swore up and down they'd behave, but man, they couldn't hold back. Out of nowhere, we got blasted with silly string from every direction, stinks like heck and sticks to everything. We shook it off somehow, but then it was time for presents, and that's when it really went south. I wasn't expecting a parade of gifts or nothing, but what they gave me was pure junk, cheap cooking spoons from the dollar store, some hideous holiday socks, dollar store again, I checked, and a pink ball cap, all from my mom and dad. The rest of them were giggling like fools, filming me while I opened more garbage, like a busted old car mirror from a ride I don't even own anymore. My girlfriend? They handed her a bottle of fart spray. I'd had it. I told them they promised no pranks, and this wasn't funny. Turns out, that trash was all they got us, no real gifts hiding behind it. So I said screw it, grabbed every single thing I'd brought Em, and started packing it up. They lost their minds, yelling at me to put it back, but I told Em they hadn't changed a lick and they could wave bye-bye to all that loot. We stuffed it in bags and peeled out of there. Since then, they've been blowing up my phone, calling me selfish, saying I can't take a joke, that the kids are bawling their eyes out, whatever, I ain't budging. Somebody online said I oughta give what I can't return to charity and let Em know that's where it went, so that's the plan. Another fella chimed in that my family's got something wrong with Em. Pranks are only good if everybody's Logan, and I'd warned him I wasn't in the mood. Giving me lousy gifts with no real ones to follow ain't a prank, it's just mean. Maybe the kids'll learn something about consequences, even if they ain't the main culprits here. Later on, my girlfriend caught wind of me telling this tale online and said I should give an update. Back at my job, I'd vented to a buddy over lunch a few days after I first posted, not knowing the office loudmouth was eavesdropping nearby. Next thing I know, the whole dang workplace is buzzing about it, and somebody's connected to my brother on social media spills the beans to him. My family flipped out, calling me a winner who can't laugh at himself. I shot back that a heap of folks online, 400, to be exact, said I wasn't the bad guy here. They tried claiming I twisted the story, but I dared Em to point out one lie over the phone. Couldn't do it. Their memories got real fuzzy all of a sudden, especially since I've still got their texts backing up every word. They tried messing with my head, acting like it didn't happen that way, but I shut that down quick. My mom turned on the waterworks, playing the guilt card, but I called her and my dad out as selfish jerks who always picked favorites and pinned the blame on me to feel better about themselves. They didn't get to rag on me or beg for pity after making me miserable since I was a kid. Hung up, ignored their calls, trashed their voicemails, kept the texts though, just in case I need Em for legal backup. Word spread to more relatives after my online post got around, and at first some took my folks' side, but they flipped fast when they saw how it all shook out. My parents tried pointing fingers at my brother instead, and it turned into a total mess. Couple weeks later, they showed up at my door wanting to talk, but I wasn't having it. Found out some cousins called Em overgrown kids who owed me apologies going back decades. My brother dug in, swearing it was all hilarious and he did nothing wrong, but his wife and even his own kids were steamed. Family made him trash the videos he took of me that night. He blamed me for killing his best prank ever. His wife hauled off and smacked him, called him a overgrown boy, said she'd never been so ashamed to be hitched to him. Turns out she didn't know the half of what they put me through growing up till that Christmas stunt, since I'd barely seen her before I cut ties years back. She laid it out for him, get counseling and say sorry to me for real, or she's gone. He wouldn't budge, so she took the kids and split for a bit. Then he showed up at my place plastered, hollerin' that I ruined everything and demandin' I fix his marriage. I almost called the cops but got our folks to drag him off instead. They were mortified, screaming at him to shut his trap. Few days later, they begged me to come over and hash it out. Took some convincing, but I went, and there was my brother looking like a whipped dog. His wife had talked to a divorce lawyer, and it finally hit him: if he didn't own up to being a jackass, he'd lose it all. She came back for the kid's sake, but he's still in hot water months later. Him and my parents said sorry, admitted they didn't think I'd show up with such nice stuff after all those years apart, figured I'd bring nothing since they'd pranked me so much before. Even with my real gifts sitting there, they went through with their dumb plan anyway, thinking I'd laugh along. Nope. I told them they'd only fess up cause they got caught looking like fools, and they agreed, started ripping into themselves. Asked if all their old apologies were just tricks to reel me back in, they couldn't even say, like they don't know themselves anymore. So I laid into them about my childhood, why I might never want to see them again, all the crap they pulled, playing favorites, making me the fall guy cause I was the kid they didn't want. Didn't ask to be here, and it shouldn't take this long for them to see they've been rotten. They just sat there, staring at the floor, mom crying, blaming herself, and dad blaming her, saying she started it. My brother finally piped down and took the blame for once. Couldn't return the gifts by then, so they sat in my garage till I gave them to a church sale, let somebody else have them. Folks chewed me out for talking the kids stuff too, but they were loading at me that day, and now they've learned action's got teeth. Mom went behind my back and bought them the same tablets anyway. Dad was ticked cause she charged it, but he got over it quick. My brother and his wife are in counseling now, and it's making him see how our folks screwed him up, though he kept it going long after. I've been talking to them some, mostly to hang with my nieces and nephews. They're solid kids, don't hold the gift thing against me no more, get why I was mad. Had my birthday at a pizza joint in March, gave them one last shot, they showed up, didn't mess it up. Gave me a card with $100 and a real sorry note, plus some silver earrings for my girlfriend, who wouldn't see them till then after Christmas. Things feel normal now, no pranks even between them. It ain't fun for them anymore after this mess. Oh, and I snitched on the office blabbermouth to HR. They'd been a problem before, so they got written up and steer clear of me now.